It's nice to have you back here in this new video. Today let's talk about the Kandao Qoocam 3 Ultra. A lot of you guys have been waiting for this camera to release on the market, and as far as I know, this camera is still under development. And I have just get my hands on the Kandao Qoocam 3 in the domestic fair. It's so-called the 25th China International Photograph and Electrical Image Machinery and Technology Fair. I have come across with the Kandao stuff in the Kandao booth. I'd like to share with you that I have learned something great from this camera. Some proprietary information, of course, in this video. So now, let's get started. This is the front-facing screen with a cube button, home button, and switch button. On the side, you can see the battery door, 4 microphones from back, left and right. On the bottom of the camera, you can see the heat sink. This fan. There's a built-in fan inside the camera. On the other side, the front-facing camera, you can see a an icon and an indication light as well. On the other side, you can see the mode button, power on button, and the USB-C port. Also, this USB-C door is removable. Underneath the camera, you can literally see the heatsink. It's not a fanless design, so to speak. With Qoocam 3 Ultra, you can record 8K resolution in long term. It will not overheat. So this is a basic look at the Qoocam 3 body. It feels soft, feels more comfortable than holding Qoocam 3 in your hand. The front-facing screen is built with a higher quality compared with Qoocam 3. You get a much higher resolution, the multi-touch experience, and a butter smooth playback, a higher frame rate. From every perspective, this is a high quality preview screen. It's a lot better compared with Qoocam 3. At this moment, the power on time, the boot time is very long. I suppose they should optimize this feature in the future. The moment you get to see the preview is a real-time stage in the camera, as you can see. And you can tap the button, you can switch back between the front and rear lenses in a single lens shooting. The maximum resolution will be 4K 60. And the light preview, you can switch back in between equirectangular format or rectilinear format. You can even capture 4K 100 FPS, I suppose, with a single lens shooting. So it's the spec is higher than Insta360 X4. So 8K 30 free view, and you can even change the stitch settings in the option menu. Well, this time the Kandao has jam-packed all the resolutions from 8K to 5.7K and 4K. With 4K, you get maximum 4K 120. With 5.7K, you get maximum 60 FPS, and the maximum resolution will be 8K 30 FPS. You can change the free view or directional lock, and change the stitching settings with on stitch, normal stitch, or optical flow. So about the stitching option, I didn't get more information from the Kandao style, so we should stay tuned about this feature before it's released to the market. But never mind, it's interesting to have stitching option built inside the camera. Well, for a single lens shooting, you get a maximum 4K 100 FPS. That is brilliant. And you can change the exposure with auto or manual, and different color profile, standard color or HDR. So in the Qoocam 3 Ultra, you can actually capture in 10-bit Rec 2020 color space. And for the exposure in the front rear lenses, you can switch back between the global, independent, or follow. Well, you capture the true HDR content with the Qoocam 3 Ultra. It's one of the killer features for this camera as well. 10-bit color, Rec 2020. Yeah, that's brilliant. And in the playback session, you can see you can capture loop recording, time lapse, live, photo, interval, DNG8, and auto export bracket. DNG8 is one of my favorite shooting modes for the Kandao Qoocam since the first generation. In the interval setting, you can capture up to 8K resolution. Loop recording time lapse. For time lapse, you can capture up to 8K 30 FPS with the minimum half-second at interval time. And you can also change the options in the stitching. For live, you can actually input the RTMP address that you can enable streaming to your specific address via Ethernet. So I suppose that Qoocam 3 should have an Ethernet port underneath the USB-C port. Just wait for this feature. If you press the home button, this home button is doubled as a record button. You can start or stop recording. But I didn't see a ring light around the home button. For photo mode, you get up to 96 megapixels, well with 14,000 pixels in the long edge and 7,000 pixels in the short edge in the rectangular format. This is one of the highest resolution in the compact 360 camera so far. And you can capture in JPEG and DNG and HEIF. HEIF is a compressed 10-bit JPEG file. And you can also capture in RAW plus JPEG. While in the interval setting, you can capture up to 96 megapixels as well, with RAW and a minimum 1 second export time. Because I suppose the Qoocam 3 Ultra jam-packed a much more powerful SoC compared with Qoocam 3. To capture and saving the data to your internal memory is lightning fast. It's more responsive compared with Qoocam 3 and it's more responsive compared with Insta360 X4 as well. Let's talk about DNG 8. Well, it's the first time that you can capture 8 shots in a sequence with full sensor readout, which to indicate that 96 megapixel, 8 shots in burst, and 1 extra JPEG. Let's capture everything captured in a burst rate up to 30 frames per second. Well, I have calculated the data for one of the raw file in 96 megapixel. The file size around 200 megabyte. So the total data should exceed that of 1.6 gigabyte. Everything happens in real time, and capture and saving to internal memory just takes almost no time. And it's true full sensor readout on the basis of the two imaging sensors. Well, for the auto explorer bracket, I think this feature should be further optimized for virtual tour photographers, because with 7 shots, you only have up to 0.7 exposure value step. And we don't have 9 shot exposure bracket. So I suppose the Canon engineer should add more features to unlock the full potential. And in auto explorer bracket, we should always lock the ISO to the lowest possible number, aka for ISO 100 for Qoocam 3 Ultra. In some specific use cases, the touchscreen is not that responsive, so I suppose the interface, the multi-touch, should also be further optimized in the future. You can still see the live preview with real-time stage while recording, even in 8K, but it's not stabilized in real time, but it's being staged in real time. This is brilliant. Let's take a look at the menu. You can change the brightness of the camera. You can set the orientation lock, and you can wireless connect to the Bluetooth mic, such as DJI Mic 2. And you can even enter the settings for more. You can have anti-flicker, USB-C port, the connection. Well, your connection can have a specific Ethernet connection. Indicator light, there's a built-in GPS. And the bit rate I have set to high, around 200 megabit per second. The color range, the color profile can be selected. I always turn to 10-bit BT 2020 HLG. That be further optimized in HDR color space. The Q button, the lock screen power off, the auto record stop temperature always set to high. And the fan settings, you have different options: silent priority, performance priority, and always on. Well, with always on, you can capture in longer time and without overheat. You have a 1/4 melt thread at the bottom, And yes, the internal battery, the capacity is around 2,280 milliamp. It has a pretty identical battery performance compared with Insta360X4. And if you compare with the Qoocam 3 and the Qoocam 3 Ultra, they have exactly the same thickness and even share the same lens cap, because I suppose they have the same optical design. The Qoocam 3 Ultra is inevitably taller than Qoocam 3. Did you see that? They have a similar size and shape on the screen, but Qoocam 3 Ultra is more powerful, more responsive, and is more professional as well. Take a look. I have removed the lens cap from the Qoocam 3, and it fits nicely on the Qoocam 3 Ultra as well. That's pretty interesting. So I suppose they have pretty identical optical design, but with different image sensors. And there's another perspective for the Qoocam 3 Ultra. You can actually tap the button to change the live preview format. This is in rectilinear, and this is in the equirectangular format. Take a look. It's your personal choice. Which one do you want? Okay, now let's take a look at the power off experience for this camera. They have a great experience, because when you long press the power button, you have different choices. And you can cancel the power on, power off sequence. But once you hesitate for more than 3 seconds, the camera can shut down by itself. And this is a camera bag. It comes with the camera, I suppose, with mass protection. It's soft. It looks just like the THETA soft case. And here is the charging speed test for the Qoocam 3 Ultra as well. The USB-C door is removable. And I have tested on my power bank because I have a amp and voltage meter right inside my power bank. Take a look. The charging speed is really fast. It's around 15 watts while charging while the camera is powered on. It's 15 watts. I suppose it's 5 volts 3 amps or 9 watts at 1.6 amps. It's pretty fast, but when you power off the camera and charge via your power bank, the charging speed is not that fast. I suppose the firmware should be further optimized for faster charging experience. But when you power on the camera, the SoC, I mean the circuit, gonna handshake with the power bank and immediately raise the charging speed. It's responsive. Take a look. Once I power on the camera once again, the charging speed gonna rise up to 15 watts again. So charging for the Qoocam 3 Ultra is a lot faster compared with Qoocam 3, but this overall strategy need to be further optimized as well. Take a look. The charging speed raised and is now charging in 9 watts, the high voltage fast charging. Looks like it's a QC fast charging. Take a look. When I power on the camera, it's 9 watts at around 1.7 amp. It's really, really fast. So this is a basic experience for the fast charging on the Qoocam 3 Ultra. And that is almost all about the hands-on experience on the Qoocam 3. Next up, I would like to show you one of the image I've been captured with the DNG8 in 196 megapixel. I mean, you can definitely change the resolution to 4K and take a look at the quality of this camera. This is an early production session, so I suppose in mass production session, you should get an even better quality. that is all for this video. I do hope you can learn something from this video and get a sneak peek on the Qoocam 3 Ultra. The camera is still under development, and if you have any thoughts, the ideas about this camera, please leave down in the comments and let me know. I will also join the Qoocam 3 Ultra beta test program later this year. And if you want something, so what do you want to know about this camera? Please leave down in the comments and let me know. So more about Qoocam 3 Ultra in our channel. Talk to you soon. See you next time. Bye.